So while looking up information on coyotes, I come across a couple. I'm like, how cool. I'll find my favorite one and we'll read it on the podcast. It's like a dramatic reading. So this is the one that I ended up landing on.
Dramatic reading.
Nathan, an experienced hiker, was making his way back to his car after several days in the desert wilderness, hiking by day and camping by night. He had gone on trips like these many times before. What kept bringing him back to this area was the abundance of wildlife. This trip was different. Despite several days hiking many miles, he had yet to see one single living creature. The loneliness was very unsettling. It was late in the evening, and the sun had dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie orange glow across the desert landscape. The path back to his car seemed straightforward enough, but now in the fading light, everything felt unfamiliar. The wind had picked up that day, and its soothing sounds had lulled Nathan into a sort of trance. He was suddenly snapped back to reality by the distant sound of a coyote calling out in the wilderness. Nathan had heard them before, of course. It's part of the wild, part of the desert. He was just happy to hear something still living out here. His boots crunched over the gravel as he moved forward, the only sound other than the wind. And then he heard it. A soft rustle in the brush just behind him. He stopped, his breath catching in his throat. It wasn't just the wind. Something had moved. He turned quickly but saw nothing. Maybe just his imagination playing tricks on him. Then another rustle, this time closer. Nathan's pulse quickened. He told himself it was nothing, but deep down he knew. His instincts, honed by years of hiking in remote places, told him he wasn't alone. A distant howl pierced the air, and Nathan stiffened. That didn't sound like the usual coyote call. It was different. It was a warning. He quickly started to walk faster, his eyes scanning the desert landscape, looking for any sign of movement. Suddenly, he heard the unmistakable sound of paws padding softly against the ground, coming from the direction he had just come from. His heart pounded in his chest, and he broke into a jog, hoping to outrun whatever was following him. But no matter how fast he ran, the sound of those paws grew closer. Then a shadow moved across his path. A coyote. It was smaller than he expected, but its eyes glowed an unnatural yellow in the low light. It didn't look like a normal coyote. Its fur was matted. Its ribs showed through the thin coat. Its movements were deliberate, unnerving. Nathan turned and ran, adrenaline surging through his veins. He could hear the coyote's steady pursuit behind him. No longer was it just a distant sound. It was right there, right behind him, its breathing heavy and rasping, almost as if it was hungry. He stumbled, nearly falling, but caught himself just in time. The creature was relentless. As he glanced over his shoulder, he saw it, not far behind now. The coyote's eyes were locked on him, its jaw slightly open, revealing sharp, yellowed teeth. It wasn't just chasing him for food. It was hunting him. Panic set in. Nathan veered off the path, trying to lose the coyote in the thick brush. He ducked behind a large rock, hoping to outsmart the predator. His breath was shallow, his mind racing. He had to think. He couldn't outrun it forever. Minutes passed, though it felt like hours. He dared not move. His body pressed flat against the cold stone, listening. Then the coyote's howl echoed through the desert again. Close. It was circling. Nathan had one option left. He had to make it to the ridge ahead. He remembered there was a ranger station nearby. If he could make it there, he might be able to call for help. Steeling himself, Nathan took a deep breath and ran. He was almost there. Then he felt the sharp pain in his calf. The coyote had lunged and caught him, its teeth sinking deep into his flesh. Nathan screamed. With every ounce of strength, he kicked the animal off and stumbled to his feet. Desperation surged in his chest. The ridge was only a few yards away. He was so close. Just as he reached the base of the ridge, a snarl rang out from behind him, and the weight of the creature crashed into him once again. Despite his panic, Nathan felt an eerie connection to the creature. It wasn't just hunger driving it. It was something darker.
Oh, gosh.
In his final moments, Nathan realized something terrifying. He hadn't been alone on this trip at all. The lone coyote wasn't just hunting him because it was hungry. It had been playing with him. It had been watching him for days, waiting for the perfect moment. And tonight was that moment.
So what else was he into?
So who got who?
Because it sounded like...
The coyote got
It did get him.
in his final moments, I said.
Well, he bit him, though. But then you said he was into something else. Was it like a flirty thing? I got a weird vibe. That's all I'm saying.
Flirty.
I got
So
a Jerry
this story-
Springer vibe.
This story, after looking through quite a few, is the one I landed on, and it was written by ChatGPT.
Oh, my God.
Oh.